All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start out this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where I learned the truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophets, the servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere, and your children, shalom. And then today's video is going to be another video from the brother, the Hopeful Like 3. You know, he got a video that he just posted maybe, a few hours back, and I'm going to kind of be building off of this video, and getting a few precepts and, watching the video, and Lord's willing, it can be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. But, I'm going to get into this video and we're going to watch it, So before I start this video, I want to say fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only. So with that being said, fair use.
In the 10 years or so that Trump's been in our face so much, he has managed to make the entire nation angry. Everybody's just so angry.
Right. And she said that Trump is doing it, but we ultimately know that it says in the book of Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1, the king's heart, meaning his mind, is in the hands of the Lord, and he turneth it whithersoever he will. So ultimately, a lot of people want to look at Trump like he's the villain in all of this stuff. Don't get me wrong, he is the devil, of course. But we know that ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is the one that's controlling everything. This is the Lord's will that's being done, that's playing out and manifesting itself on the earth, So I'm going to get a precept real quick, because she said that everybody's angry and things of that nature. People are divided and stuff of that nature. That's what the Lord said he was going to do in these latter days. He said that he came to bring a sword, and I'm going to get that precept. This is St. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34, right? In the KJV. And it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword, right? And that sword represents division, people being at odds with one another, people not getting along, and things of that nature. That's the spirit that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is bringing upon the earth. So that's ultimately why you see people not together. It has nothing to do with Trump. Going back into what I said about the Lord controlling these people, man, he controls their thoughts. He controls their movements. He controls what laws and legislations they push. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai controls the minds of men, of these men that are in power. So, this is the spirit that the Lord ultimately wants to be in the earth, because we're in the last days, man. We're coming to an end of this man being in power. So the more you're going to see hate, the more you're going to see wickedness, the more you're going to see people behaving in, manners that are not right, because we're at the end of this place, and it tells you that in Amos 3:6, shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it, right? So we know that ultimately the Lord is the one bringing these evils, and that word evils means bad times in the Hebrew, rayam. Right. So we know that ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is bringing all of the evil. This has nothing to do with Trump. This is just the time period that we're living in the earth, because it tells us in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 that there's a time and place for everything. And we're living in a time right now of hate, in a time of war where people are not together anymore, man. Right. And this is verse 35 of Matthew chapter 10. And it says, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Right. So we know ultimately, like I said, the Lord is coming to divide people, man, family members, friends, everybody that at once upon a time that might have been close. The Lord is setting these people at odds against one another, because that's the spirit that's ultimately in the earth right now, and it also tells us that in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity, right, meaning wickedness, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? And that word cold goes back into the Greek, meaning psychos. So everybody is angry. Everybody is upset. Everybody is in a crash out spirit, because that's the spirit that's on the earth right now doing to the sin and the iniquity that's abounding in this place, America. So that's why you have everybody, in that spirit. And it tells us about that. I'm going to go to this in the book of 2 Timothy, right? Bear with me. Because in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, and on down the first 3-4 verses, it tells us how the people will behaving in the last days. And we see all of these behaviors in these people that are in this place, Babylon, the great America. 2/3 of the nation of Israel, as well as these heathen nations. These are the spirits that these people are coming in. That's how we know we're at the end of this place, because of the behavior of the people. Just like during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, the days of Noah, our forefather, and the flood, you had people it tells you in Ecclesiastes 1:9, there's no new thing under the sun. So you had people behaving just like in the ancient times. They're back now, these same people, these same wicked people and they're behaving in the same manner in which they were acting in the ancient times. Nothing new under the sun. So, these people are going to do these wicked things that they're doing, man. And that's the spirit that the Lord has on the earth, you know, because we're getting ready to come into a time of judgment where a lot of people are about to get judged, man. These people that are behaving in these wicked ways, right? So I'm going to get this precept real quick. The book of 2 Timothy, right? And I'm going to start in chapter 3, right? And I'm going to start at verse 1. It said, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, right? And that word perilous means a time full of distress, a time full of uncertainty, a time full of chaos. And that's the time we're living in right now. You don't know what's bound to happen. Like she said, the people out here are bugged out. They're weird. People got all types of spirits on them. So, I mean, you don't know what bound to happen, when you walk outside your house, man, because people out here are wicked, And this is verse 2, just going into the behaviors of what we see in these people in these last days and how they're acting. Verse 2, for men shall be lovers of their own selves. You see that happening at an all-time high. You got the men and these women, especially on these social media sites. These people are infatuated with themselves. That's why people love taking selfies, all of these pictures, posting themselves and parading themselves on social media for likes and clicks, because people are indulged and infatuated with themselves, right? And it says covetous, right? A lot of people out here have that spirit of covetous on them, greed, envying people for what it is that they may have and wanting it. That's the spirit that these people have on them in this place, America, Babylon the Great. That's why you got the crime rate so high. That's why robberies and all of these other different things are taking place, man, because people are very covetous, very envious, right? It says boasters, right? Proud, right? And we know that everybody in this country, besides the people of the Lord, that are following after righteousness to the best of their abilities, the men of great millstone and the people on down that follow after the men of great millstone and the affiliate brothers teaching the same doctrine. We try our best to be humble to the best of our abilities, but we know these people here in America, Babylon the Great, these 2/3 of our people and these heathens, these people are very prideful in this country, man. You can't tell them anything. They want to do what they want to do and do it how they do it. They don't take correction. Everybody out here for themselves. It's a dog eat dog world in this place. So, I mean, everybody is already divided and separated, because of their pride. People feeling like you can't help them with anything. Oh, I got everything on my own. I can do it. I don't need your help. That's the spirit that these people have on them, man. Right. And this is how we know we're getting close to judgment, because the Lord said in 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50, for many great miseries shall be done unto them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And that's what you see when you go outside your house. All you see is a bunch of proud people, man. And that's how we know we're getting closer and closer to judgment, to this place being destroyed, right? And it says blasphemers, right? Disobedient to parents, unthankful and unholy, man. And when you think of that word unholy, it means basically, people that are, because when you're holy, you're walking after righteousness to the best of your abilities. You're on a set apart path. When you're holy, you're set apart. And these people in this world, they're not set apart, majority of them. These people are going along with the ways of wickedness, So these people are very unholy in this society, man. And this is verse 3, without natural affection, man. These people in this society, they don't care about anybody else. It's all about them. It's all about what they want, and they want it when they want it. These people don't have patience. They don't have respect for anyone. That's the world that we're living in, man, especially these younger people that are coming up. They're worse than, even these old people out here. These people are just wicked, man. No better way to put it, right? And it says truce breakers, right? False accusers, you got a lot of that going on. People, slandering men of the Lord, lying on people. These are the behaviors that these people have, man. This is what they're exhibiting to the world. This is what people deem acceptable in this society, being in these characteristics that I'm labeling. They deem that as the right thing. That's why the Lord said in Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call good evil and evil good, that puts sweet for bitter and bitter for sweet. These people love wickedness in this society. That's why you see the Lord giving them over to their devices, giving them over to what they want. That's why he's giving them over to the hand of the cruel Lord, Donald J. Trump. That's, about to come down with great wrath upon these 2/3 of the nation of Israel, and as well as these heathens, man, because these people love wickedness, man. So the Lord is going to give them exactly what they want, right? And it says truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, right? Fierce, despisers of those that are good, right? And we see that heavy in this society. Men of the Lord that are on the highways and hedges teaching his word to the best of their abilities, trying to tell the people to repent. Guess what? We're deemed as somebody that's evil or deemed as somebody that's doing the wrong thing. But yet again, like I said, all of these people that are doing that are operating in all of those behaviors I listed from 2 Timothy 3:1 all the way down to verse 3. If you're operating in those spirits, guess what? Then the world will accept you, man. The world will love you if you were doing everything that they were doing. It tells you about that in the book of John chapter 15, verse 19. It said, if you were of the world will love his own. But seeing as though I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And that's what we see, in this society, man, that people love darkness rather than light. And that's why the iniquity is abounding in this place, man. Because to do the right thing is considered evil, and to be evil is considered good, man. Right? But then again, like I said, that's what these people love, man, because these people are demons. They love wickedness. They love the dark. They love to be proud and arrogant and boastful and, doing things their way and stuff like that. This is why the Lord says in the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 through 16, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly. That word circumspectly mean walking with wisdom, walking being wise, not just doing things according to how it is you want to do it. You got to be wise, man, circumspect, because we're living in very dangerous times, and it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So knowing that we're living in very evil times, you got to be circumspect. That means being wise, watching how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, the people you surround yourself around. All of these things goes into you being wise, because the Lord says in Proverbs 22:3, a prudent man, right, meaning a wise man, foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. He hideth himself in the confines of the Lord, under his refuge, under the Lord being his protection, right? And it says, but the simple passed on and are punished, right? And that's what's going to happen soon, man, because a lot of these people, due to their wickedness, they're very simple. They don't know the things that is happening that is soon to come, man, which is the time of Jacob's trouble. All hell that's getting ready to break loose soon in this place, America, because they're so consumed with the things of this life, and they just don't know that, everything is soon about to change for these wicked people, man, right? So bear with me. I'm going to get back into the video. So, we can finish listening to what the woman is saying. Bear with me, Salakia.
In the 10 years or so that Trump's been in our face so much, he has managed to make the entire nation angry. Everybody's just so angry. The people in the grocery store, they're pissed. People driving down the road, they're mad. And social media, the anger is palpable. I mean, you can't say anything without somebody jumping you about it. And it's exhausting. And on and on and on. It doesn't matter what you feel, what your beliefs are. It just doesn't matter. The world is full of...
All right. And we know, I'm going to finish letting her speak.
mean memes and people ready to attack you for who you...
Right. And we know that, like I said, again, I'm going to get another precept, Bear with me. I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7, because we know ultimately, like I said earlier, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the one that's controlling all of these things, man. He's controlling the good and the evil, the behaviors, the mindsets of these people. The Lord is controlling it all, because we know that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is in control of these left-hand spirits. The Father of spirits, he controls these spirits on the left-hand side. So guess what? They're just doing the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua at the end of the day, And everything is ultimately being set up for biblical prophecy to play out, because we know that there's going to be a lot of violence coming soon in the times of Jacob's trouble. And all of these spirits and these emotions and things of that nature that's on these people in America is all going to be fueled for this violence that's about to soon take place in this country, man. Because the Lord tells us, in St. Matthew 24:21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. So we coming into a time like never before. That's why you're seeing these people behave in the erratic, chaotic manners that they're behaving in, because we're coming into a time like never before, man. And a lot of these people are going to be those people that the Lord is going to put these spirits on in these last days to ultimately do his will, man, which is to bring forth a lot of judgment into the earth. That's why you got the spirit of these people always angry, always mad. People always, quick to, delete somebody over something small. That's why these people are so frustrated, because that's all those spirits that are on these people, and they're just waiting to erupt. And soon they're about to erupt, in the time of Jacob's trouble, which we see coming soon, And it tells us that in Jeremiah 30:7, it said, at last, for that day is great, so that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. That he is talking about the elect of the Lord's remnant. They're going to be saved out of all of this darkness and chaos that's soon to come. But that's what all of this stuff is building up to ultimately. It's building up to civil unrest. It's building up to chaos. It's building up to mayhem and catastrophe. Because that's what's coming to this place, America, due to all of the wickedness of these people, man. Right? This is Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil, right? Meaning bad times. I, the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, do all these things. So the Lord is the one that's controlling everything. Like I said before, he's the one that ultimately has the spirit on these people to be in the mindset that they're in, right? Being in that chaotic spirit. The Lord is the one that's controlling that, man. At the end of the day, this is why we're to fear the Lord, because, these things are going to get serious very soon, man. Don't think that these people just out here, in these spirits or just in these mindsets, and that there's not going to be, action coming soon, because there's definitely going to be action, man. These people are behaving this way because, like I said, these spirits are on them. But soon to come, these people are going to take matters into their own hands. And that's when you're going to have all of this chaos breaking forth soon, So, yeah, I'm going to get back into the video just so we can hear what she's saying, just a little bit more of it.
Names and calling people stupid and making fun of handicapped people and thinking it's okay. And before long, people were cheering him on doing it, and they joined in it. And they're everywhere now. A bunch of pissed people. That's not healthy, man. That's not healthy, being so mad about everything all the time.
Right. And we know ultimately why the Lord is allowing these things. I'm going to go to the book of 2nd Esdras, right? Chapter 15. Because we know why all of these things are coming upon this place, man. Bear with me. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse... I'm going to start at verse 5. It said, behold, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai will bring plagues upon the world. And all of these things that we're seeing happening in the earth in this place, America, is the plagues. Even this woman saying that everybody being angry and at odds with one another, those are part of the plagues, man. The businesses closing down, people getting frustrated, the love of many waxing cold. All of these things are part of the plagues, man, right? It says, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And this is the reason why all of these things are happening, why the love of many is waxing cold, why you see people out here bugging out and doing the things that they're doing. This is the reason why. Verse 6, for wickedness, right, meaning sin upon sin, have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord. So that's why we see all of these things occurring. That's why we see people out here bugging out. That's why you see people always angry and unhappy and miserable and things of that nature, man, because wickedness has exceedingly polluted this whole earth, man. And the Lord is getting ready to judge this place, soon to come. So that's why you see people behaving in the way that they're behaving. And like I said, it's all being orchestrated and set up by the Lord to bring in the time of Jacob's trouble and, to fulfill prophecy, So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Just something quick through the spirit. Lord's willing, it can be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.